Hallelujah. God bless you for taking the time to watch this video. This month, our theme is prevailing over our enemies. Hallelujah. And in my other video, I gave a definition of who the enemy is. And I also said some things about our enemies. But today I want to focus on dealing with your enemies. And to proceed, the first thing is, who is your enemy? You have to identify. And here I'm not talking about Satan and the demons. We have identified them. But I'm talking about human beings who allow themselves to be used by the enemy to become your enemy. You know, they allow Satan to use them to become your enemy. And we have also talked about reasons or things that actually cause people to begin to envy you, to begin to want to destroy you, and all that. We have talked about that. So we know that there are human beings who don't like us, who want us destroyed, who don't want to see us happy. Those are the ones we are talking about as referring to them as our enemies. And that's what we are talking about. We need to identify them. And I said there are people, those who will just come and let you know that they don't like you. You know, the hostility, you can see they don't like you. But there's this other group of people, they are there with you, they are eating with you, they are pretending to be your friends, but they are not your friends, they are your enemies. How do you know? So the first thing is pray that God reveal or expose my enemies to me, because it is important. Otherwise, these people can be in our lives, getting vital information from us and using the information to destroy us. And we are not aware. It has happened to many people where there were people close, you know, to them, and they didn't know they were enemies. By the time they realized the harm had been done, they have caused them a lot of harm. So it is important and necessary to pray that God show me who my enemy is. That is one way we can find our enemies. The other way is also to get information. It's not about getting out and going about fishing for information, but be alert, be sensitive, be watchful, listen, because all this will give you clues to let you know whether the people around you really love you. You can get some information from all that. When the Mordecai and the people were going through all that, Mordecai got to know that Haman was their enemy because he received the information. Mordecai got the information that Haman had gotten permission from the king and had written letters to all the provinces trying to kill the Jews. So he got that information because it was out there. If he didn't have that information, he wouldn't have known that Haman was the enemy. So let us also be attentive when we are dealing with people. We might get certain information that will help us. Now, in dealing with our enemies, there are so many strategies. It's like going to war, and the way you are going to fight this person at this place might be different from another scenario, and that will mean that you might want to use different approach, different ammunitions and all that. Same applies to us. We have different enemies, and the way we are going to handle enemy A might be different from the way we are going to handle enemy B, because they are different people and they present themselves differently. But to do that, we need wisdom, we need diplomacy, we need common sense to be able to deal with our enemies. This is so important because the enemy we are talking about, they are not people far away. They are people who are close to us. I'm telling you, some are so close. Some are family members. Some could be siblings. Some could be extended family. Some of them are our co-workers. We share the same office with them. We share the same office space with them, and they are enemies. Some of them might be your boss, your supervisor. In fact, some might be your church members, maybe your fellow chorister. You are all in the choir singing. And that is why you need to be you need diplomacy to deal with people like that. You need wisdom. Otherwise, you might end up causing more problems. The fact that you identify this person as an enemy does not mean that you have to get up and start fighting and all that. And there are people who say that a prophet told me that this person is responsible for their problem. And they get up and they go and they're attacking the people. And I said, no, they're attacking you spiritually. You deal with it spiritually. You don't go attacking them physically. You worsen the whole situation. And we need wisdom to be able to handle. I know sometimes it's really painful to hear that somebody so close to you is working against you and you want to react. But let's be very careful and let's wait and let God give us the direction. How do I go about it? It's important. You see, David knew that Saul was an enemy, but David didn't get up to go and fight Saul. He was quiet. He used the power of silence. He didn't fight Saul. He didn't go about telling people he's a bad man. He wants to kill me. I've served him. Look, no, he was very quiet. And God fought his battle for him. God fought for him because he knew that he didn't want to fight him. He knew that was not the right approach, considering the person he was dealing with, the kind of person he was dealing with. And so we need to take all this into consideration. When you read the Bible, you realize that Elijah saw that or realized that Jezebel was an enemy, wanted to destroy him. And he confronted Jezebel. And what happened? Jezebel pursued Elijah, tormented Elijah, harassed Elijah till Elijah gave up. Say, hey, God, take my life. I'm not better than the others. He couldn't stand the heat, because he used the confrontational approach. Maybe he should have been more careful, but he did that. So let's be very careful even when we identify our enemy. So let's see the Mordecai and his people. What did they do after they had identified their enemy? The Bible said that as soon as they got the message, they began to fast. They went into fasting. And we know that anytime we are talking about fasting, it goes with prayer. So these people, the first thing they did was they fasted and they prayed. And they said they were wailing. The Bible said they